Hi guys, Sandra here of the blog with sensiblemom.com. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's live video. Today we are going to be talking about super quick and easy foods to eat, to lose weight, and to keep it off. And that's what today's video is going to be about. And stay tuned till the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be sharing my current weight as well as what my size or sizes are right now and my goal weight. So stay tuned to the end for that. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into today's video, and we're going to talk about some great weight loss foods. We're going to talk about the foods that I'm eating to lose weight and feel full on this 1,000 calorie feel full lifestyle. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave them down in the chat box, and I will try to answer your questions at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and just jump right in and get started with the foods, okay? So as you guys saw from the thumbnail, hopefully, these are the main foods some of the main foods that I am eating for weight loss. And the number one food that I would have to say that I'm eating right now are these Bob's Red Mill potato flakes, okay? And I should go ahead and say that the majority of the foods that you're going to be eating, if you're eating this way, are vegetables, fruits, grains, and legumes, beans, peas, lentils, things like that, okay? So one of the number one foods that I'm eating right now are these Bob's Red Mill potato flakes, and these are just dehydrated potatoes. That's it. I do also eat real potatoes. These are real potatoes, but you guys know what I mean. From the grocery store, I make those every single day pretty much in the air fryer. I actually had one with my lunch today with my Bob's Red Mill potatoes. I also had just a potato that I had air fried. I make probably somewhere close to 30 pounds in the air fryer every week for my family, and I enjoy some of those as well. But I would say my main food right now are these Bob's Red Mill potato flakes, and I'm going to show you guys some examples of some of my meals with these coming up. So stay tuned for that, okay? But these are fantastic for weight loss because it's only 70 calories a serving, and I typically have one heaping cup of these with my meal and a lot of vegetables to go along with them. So these are loaded with nutrition, and then I add even more nutrition with the extra vegetables that I add in. So these are fantastic for weight loss. Now, I will say that I can only find them on vitacost.com. So yeah, if you're not able to find these in your grocery store, check on vitacost.com. The other place, well, no, there's no other place that I can find them. I was going to say the other thing that you can do is just buy plain dehydrated potatoes from the grocery store, and those will work just fine as well. I just really like the Bob's Red Mill kind because I bought these and I just like them. So I just stick with them, and I buy like 6 bags or 10 bags at a time, and I just always have them on hand. So yeah. Let's see here. I'm just making sure that everything is good. Okay, so everything looks good. Just making sure. All right, let's move on to the next food that I have eaten a bunch, okay, and been able to lose weight with, and that is this cream of wheat. Okay, I've used this one a lot. There's other varieties, and even Bob's Red Mill has one as well, and this is really fantastic. And I have this sweet or savory. I can add in some cinnamon with it and make it almost like cocoa wheats. Okay, it's really delicious like that. Wait, no. Was it this one? Yeah, cinnamon. You can add cinnamon to this. You can take it sweet or savory. You can add some cinnamon. You can add a touch of sweetener, maybe some maple syrup or something like that if you like that. And you can make this sweet. And it's only 120 calories for 3 tablespoons. So you know, a little bit, and a little bit goes a long way. And I'll make it savory by adding in vegetables, by adding in spinach, green beans, lettuce, and spices. Spices are a huge part of eating this way. This is essentially this way of eating is high carb, low fat, and low sodium. Okay. And it's just packed with vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, lots of nutrition, and of course protein, because there's pretty much protein in everything. But if you do want extra protein, then you can also include more beans in your diet. So I will make black beans, pinto beans, chickpeas, and things like that. So those will definitely give you extra protein. And of course, I have eaten my fair share of peas, if you guys have watched my grocery hauls. So, but cream of wheat, sweet or savory, fantastic for weight loss. And you can have that any time of the day too. So don't think it's just for breakfast. You can have it for lunch or for dinner. And my potatoes, I always have, obviously, savory. So I have my potatoes, and then I load them up with vegetables and spices, and they're just absolutely delicious. And then another food that I will use for weight loss, although I don't have this one very much, is this yellow corn polenta. And this is just ground up corn. And this is also fantastic for weight loss. So if you want to give this a try, this is great. This is the Bob's Red Mill kind. And then something else that I've had a lot that has helped me to lose weight is this cream of wheat rice cereal. And again, you can take this sweet or savory. So you can put in some cinnamon and make this sweet, and even add just a little bit of sweetener, maybe just a touch of maple syrup if that's what you like, and make it sweet. Or you can also add in spices and vegetables and things and make it savory. And if you guys notice, these foods are going to be full of what? Of water and fiber, which are what I told you that you need to lose weight, right? In the very first video that I shared with you guys. If you guys want to see that, you guys can check it out. It's linked down in the description box below. How to lose weight and feel full, eating 1,000 calories daily. And fiber and water are the keys to weight loss, okay? For me, anyway. My family, my kids have been able to lose weight as well, my sons especially, and not eating this way. They're eating lots of fruits and vegetables and everything, and the weight is just falling off them. But they're young, and they're young men, and yeah, they're able to do it in, you know, a super easy way just by eating basic foods. One of my sons, every single day almost, he eats potatoes, and he has tortilla chips for lunch, along with fruits and vegetables and some just bread. And so if you guys want something crunchy, what I do for him every day is I take tortillas and I just cut them into like a pizza, right? I take like 3 or 4 tortillas, cut them like a pizza into little triangles, throw these in the air fryer, and he has these delicious, crunchy tortilla chips every single day that are actually healthy. There's only corn, water, and lime in here. Very low sodium, only 10 milligrams of sodium for 2 tortillas. So if you want something crunchy with your meal, you can have some tortillas, homemade, not the kind you get from the grocery store that have oil in them. So yeah, you want to keep your oils very low as well, eating this way. So other foods that are great for weight loss are these dried plums. When I want a snack, I will go ahead and get 1 or 2 of these dried plums, and they are fantastic. So I will typically have these in the afternoon. If I'm wanting like a little pick-me-up or a little snack, I will have a couple of dried plums with my afternoon coffee. I will drink 2 cups of coffee a day. Typically, sometimes I might have like 1.5 cups, maybe 1 cup, and rarely I'll have more than that, but sometimes I do. So, but for the most part, I have 2 cups of coffee a day, and I like to have these in the afternoon. Of course, they're great for digestion and just have lots of vitamins in them and everything, nutrients, and they're great for you. So dried plums, I just get the kind, obviously you guys can see, from Kirkland, and these are fabulous. And then with my coffee in the morning, I have this Elmhurst oat creamer. All right. This has no oil in it, and it has no sodium in it. even though it does say, was it in this one? No, that was in a different one. I had tried a nut pods one recently, and I like that one too. And it said it had a little bit of sea salt, but no sodium in it overall. So maybe the salt was so low that, they can count it as 0. I don't know. But anyway, this is the one I typically have the most of. This is the Elmhurst oat creamer, and this is the French vanilla kind. This is the only one that I can find in one store around me. So we really stock up when we go to that store. And if they have a sale or they have a promotion on their website, on the company's website, where there's no shipping or something like that, then I'll go ahead and buy some other varieties there. I've also tried their pumpkin spice, and I really like that. And I think I also tried their chai. Their chai one was okay, but I didn't love it. I do really enjoy the pumpkin spice one, though. That one was really good. And like I said, the French vanilla is really good. And so I have this in my coffee, and it's only 15 calories. And like I said, no sodium, which is really important. And I have about maybe 4 tablespoons in a full cup of coffee. If I'm having like half a cup of coffee, then I'll obviously have less. So this is also fantastic for weight loss because it's not full of a bunch of junk, that so many of the coffee creamers at the grocery store have in them. So then another big thing that I'm doing that I've talked to you guys about in order to lose weight, the thing that you need to do is really introduce yourself to your spices, right? So you're going to need to open up your spice drawer or your spice cabinet, or get into your spice rack and get to know your spices so that you're not always relying on salt, right? A little bit of sodium is just fine. I try to keep my sodium between 500 and 1,000 milligrams a day. And believe it or not, it is very, very easy to do that. And so I use spices every day in my food. So these are parsley flakes. And I'm just going to go through some really quick, some of the ones that I use all the time, just because I don't want to spend too much time going through everything. And I use this one every single day. This is the Kirkland no salt seasoning. I use tons of this, and it's really delicious. And there's 21 spices in here, and they're pretty much all organic. And this is just fabulous for seasoning your foods. And then we have basically the Trader Joe's version. This is the 21 seasoning salute, and this has 21 spices, and it's delicious as well. It's very similar to the Kirkland one, as you can see. And I like the Kirkland one a little bit better, but the Trader Joe's one's fine too. So the other spices that I like are the ones that I get from Frontier. I'm wanting to order their pizza spice, but they always seem to be out of stock. So hopefully I can find that soon because it's been highly recommended. But I do love their poultry seasoning, and I use a lot of their Mexican seasoning as well. Really fantastic. And I noticed I'm getting just a little bit of glare. So let's try to turn the light down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Cilantro. Okay, fresh herbs are fabulous. Okay, so we have fresh basil growing outside and fresh cilantro growing outside. In the past, we've also grown parsley, and we've had chives growing. We've grown green onions. We have some actually outside right now that are ready to go. And so fresh herbs are fantastic. I absolutely love basil and cilantro inside of my meals. So good. So use fresh herbs whenever you can. But if you can't, dried herbs are fabulous as well. So this is some dried cilantro. You just found the Mexican seasoning. That is fantastic. I hope you like it. And yes, I guess I would say for the most part, I do eat 2 meals a day. But my breakfast, I consider my breakfast my coffee in the morning, because I always have coffee in the morning, and then whatever fruits and vegetables I'm prepping for the day for my kids. I'm eating those things as I'm prepping them. So I wake up in the morning, I pray, read my Bible, I get ready for the day, I head downstairs, I unload the dishwasher, wipe anything down that needs to be wiped down, do some of those morning chores like that I need to do. And then I start getting things ready for lunch, basically. So I have 5 children. They all eat at home. 3 out of the 5 of them I am homeschooling. So they're here for lunchtime. And all my kids are. And so I start prepping food for them. So I'm prepping mandarin oranges. I'm prepping celery. I'm prepping grapes. I'm prepping strawberries. I'm prepping watermelon, whatever fruits and vegetables we're going to have for the day. So I typically, in my mind every day, try to have 3 fruits available for them on the counter, 3 fruits. And sometimes one of those fruits is just bananas or it's just applesauce pouches. So it doesn't have to be, 3 fresh fruits that I've, peeled and chopped and gotten ready for them. Typically there's like 2 that are like that. And then 1 is an applesauce pouch or a banana or something like that. Okay. Or like a fruit cup, peaches or mandarins in a fruit cup or something like that. If we don't have fresh mandarins, then they can have a cup of mandarins, right? A little fruit cup of mandarins. I try to keep those on hand all the time as well. So I'm typically prepping fruits and vegetables. So vegetables, like it might be celery sticks. I might put some peanut butter out with those. It might be some carrot sticks. What else? So potatoes, of course, I'm always doing potatoes. I'm getting those ready in the air fryer. So I'm peeling off. My kids don't like to eat the potato skins. So I'm peeling off the skins and getting those ready for the air fryer. So I try to have, like I said, 3 fruits available for them every day, and typically 1 to 2 vegetables available as well, in addition to whatever we're having for that day. And I might make them some green beans on the stove or some broccoli in the microwave or in a pan on the stove. And so I'm doing those things. And so as I'm doing those things, and as I'm like peeling the mandarins or washing the grapes and things like that, or cutting up the watermelon, I'm eating some of that. And so, or, chopping the carrots and the celery, I'm eating some of those things. And so that's what I consider my breakfast along with my morning coffee. And then my big meal is lunch. And then I have another big meal at lunch. And I'm going to show you guys examples of my lunch and dinner meals because, like I said, I did take pictures this weekend and at the end of last week so that I could show you guys examples of what my lunches and dinners look like. So yeah, and then we have also smoked paprika. This is a fabulous spice to add into your meals. And then I love roasted vegetables. Okay, roasted vegetables are fantastic to add into your starches. And so I will, like this afternoon for lunch, I was making some, what was I making? I was making some tater tots for my kids, right? Just in the oven. And I try to also throw roasted vegetables in there or throw vegetables in there to roast when I'm making something in the oven for my kids as well, right? So I chopped up a red onion and I put that on the pan, and then we have a couple serrano chilies from our garden, and I put those on the pan to roast. And so I had 2 serrano chilies, and these are from our garden. These are just serranos. Jalapenos are fabulous as well, so I've done that too with jalapeno chilies. So just put them in the oven to roast, and I will roast them up until they're just absolutely delicious, and then just add those to my mashed potatoes. And that's actually what I did for lunch today. Another delicious food to roast is mushrooms. They're just so juicy and delicious. I absolutely love when mushrooms are on sale and I can throw those in the oven and roast them and add them to my food. They are so good. Sauteed, they are delicious as well. Water sauteed, of course, they're delicious as well. But I really, really, really love them roasted. But let's say I don't have any onions ready, right? So today I had a red onion. I had the whole entire red onion. I roasted it and I threw the whole entire red onion into my meal. Onions are fantastic for you when it comes to nutrition, okay? And so I put the whole roasted red onion into my meal. But let's say I haven't roasted an onion, right? And so what I will do is I will just throw dehydrated onions into my food. And so these are fabulous. I just get these from Costco, and these are just dehydrated onions, and I just throw those into my mashed potatoes, or you can put them in the cream of wheat or whatever, and they're fantastic. So those are really great. So essentially how I'm doing things is I'm having my main starch is potatoes at most of my meals right now. And then I add in vegetables, non-starchy vegetables to that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead real quick and go through my meals. My kids, I would say, that's a question from Robin. Are your kids picky eaters? Mine are sometimes. Yes. So I have 5 kids and they all eat differently. Okay. Literally, I can make spaghetti and they all want the spaghetti a little bit differently. Okay. So yes, I'll kind of give you like a quick, well, I won't get into it too much actually, so I can kind of stay on point in this video. But yeah, my kids, I encourage them to find what they like, find foods that they like, how they like them, that are healthy foods, and to eat those foods. That's what I encourage my kids to do. So like my oldest son, for example, he loves potatoes. So I make him air fried potatoes every single day for his meals. And he has salt and pepper on those. And then he loves tortilla chips, just the tortilla chips that I make for him in the air fryer. These are super quick and easy, okay, to make it fresh in the air fryer for his meals. And so I just make those. And then he has some French bread, and then whatever fruits and vegetables are out for the day. So today I had strawberries out and I had grapes out. And then I think he also had an applesauce pouch. And so that's his meal. That was his meal today. And that's a very, very typical meal for him. Okay. So like, that's what he likes to eat. My middle son, he loves fruit. Okay. So he has grapes and strawberries and watermelon and pineapple. And so he loves the fruits. And then he also will eat potatoes. And he loves when I make homemade bread. So I'm constantly making homemade bread. Or if I don't have any homemade bread, we typically have some French bread from either Sam's Club. If you guys have Sam's Club, they have really great French bread. Also, we get it baked fresh from our local grocery store. We buy that a ton. We've got that downstairs right now. And I'm also making homemade bread. I literally have some right now that's rising, and I make that a lot as well. So that's what my middle son loves. Now my youngest son, he loves potatoes, and he loves everything. He is not picky. My youngest son, he's a trooper. Like, he eats all kinds of different food and everything like that. So he's not picky. He's super easy to please. So I really appreciate that about him. So he pretty much will eat whatever. And that's great. And then my daughters, my oldest daughter, she kind of does her own thing. So if she wants some pasta, or if she wants potatoes or whatever vegetables, she'll let me know, like, can I make green beans? She loves to eat the fruit that's out on the counter, the mandarin oranges, and just whatever is available, the French bread and things like that. So yeah, she kind of just, she serves herself, and she does her own thing, and I make everything available, and then she serves herself however she likes. And then my youngest daughter, she just kind of does whatever she likes, and she is not a big eater. She's a very tiny eater, but she does have specific foods that she likes, and so she just munches and just eats whatever she wants to eat, of whatever food that I have out and available. My job, I see as a mom, is just to make sure that I have lots of healthy foods available for my children on hand to eat at all times. And I have found that preparing the foods ahead of time for them, it really encourages them to eat the foods, right? So if I have a watermelon all cut up and in a bowl on the counter, open in a big bowl, people are more likely to grab it and eat it. And I will offer it as a side, like, did you want a bowl of watermelon? And almost always they'll say yes. Yes, I want a bowl of watermelon with my lunch, with my dinner, with whatever, right? So yeah, I make those foods available so that they're filling up on those things and much less likely to want something that is not so healthy. So that's kind of like how we do things here in my house. So real quick, I will show you guys Thursday's lunch. Okay, so this is Thursday's lunch to kind of give you guys an idea of how I am making this work and how I'm actually feeling full. Okay, so this was my lunch on Thursday. I had potato soup. As you can see, I had, I'm just going to run through real quick what's in this meal. I wrote it down so that I don't forget. So I had 16 ounces of green beans, and now that's a whole pound of green beans. I don't normally eat this much green beans because typically I'm just eyeballing my green beans, right? And I'm not typically weighing everything, but for the benefit of this video, I went ahead and weighed things out. And so I had about 16 ounces of green beans. I didn't eat all these green beans myself because my daughter, my youngest daughter, went into the kitchen and she saw the bowl of green beans and she just started eating them and munching them. And again, that's another perk, another benefit of eating this way is that you're having healthy foods available for your kids and your family at all times. And they're much more likely to just grab those foods and eat them instead of going to look for an unhealthy food or to desire an unhealthy food because the food is there in front of them and looking delicious. And so she just couldn't help herself. So she went ahead and grabbed some green beans, and I was more than happy to share it because that was plenty of green beans for me. But anyway, it was a pound of green beans, 164 calories. And then in my potato soup, I had a heaping cup of the Bob's Red Mill potatoes with water, probably a couple cups of water. Again, I don't typically measure out the water. I did when I was first getting used to using the potatoes and everything, right? I was measuring the water out a lot more, but now I can just, I know my pans, I know the size of my pans, and I can just eyeball things, and that's pretty much how I do things today. So I had probably a couple cups of water, and I added in a heaping cup of the Bob's Red Mill potatoes. I also added in 2 cups of spinach. I buy the huge containers of spinach from Costco, and they also sell them at Sam's Club. And I just throw in a bunch of spinach. So I threw in 2 cups of spinach, and then I threw in some dehydrated onions. I didn't have any roasted onions, so I threw in some dehydrated onions, as well as some of the no salt seasoning and some of the Mexican seasoning. Put some of that in as well. And we're not talking about a dash, you guys. I'm not playing games when it comes to my seasonings, okay? I am putting in maybe like a teaspoon of it, something like that. Again, I'm eyeballing, but I'm not just like, a little dash. No, I'm putting in a good amount. I'm shaking the seasoning into my potatoes or cream of wheat or whatever it is that I'm making. And then I also added in some fennel seeds. Where are my fennel seeds at? I did bring those up. And so fennel seeds are, from what I've heard, great for digestion. And so I added in some fennel seeds as well. And then I just added some parsley flakes on top. I put a little bit of the green beans on top, chopped those up, and just added in tomato for garnish from our garden. And I enjoyed this delicious potato soup. And it was all of this for only 397 calories. So do you think I was full after I ate this? That soup weighs over 1.5 pounds, plus almost a pound of green beans. I was very full after I ate this meal. And that's what I mean when I'm telling you guys can eat about 1,000 calories a day and feel full. When your foods are full of fiber and water and the nutrients that your body needs, you can eat this way and actually feel full. So we're going to move on to Friday's lunch. Okay, so Friday's lunch was, again, a pound of green beans, and then I had loaded mashed potatoes. So as you can see, they're not soup, they are loaded mashed potatoes. And in my potatoes that day, I had another heaping cup of the Bob's Red Mill potatoes, and then I added in about a cup and a half of spinach. I added dehydrated onions, the no salt seasoning, the Mexican seasoning, fennel seeds, and then as you can see, for a little variety, I added in some corn. So we had some organic corn on the cob that I had just cooked up, and I had it in the refrigerator. So I just cut that off the cob and just threw some on top and just enjoyed that, and just added some fennel seeds and a little bit of my green beans. I just chopped those up and added those, and I had a delicious lunch. About 414 calories is what it was for this meal. And do you think I was hungry afterward? I was very full. So that was Friday's lunch. And now I'm going to go to Saturday's lunch. So Saturday's lunch, I did something a little different. The other thing that I told you guys I love to add to my food is lettuce. So I love different lettuces, and it can be any kind of lettuce, okay? It can be romaine lettuce. It can be iceberg lettuce. Right here, I had butter lettuce. You are able to buy big containers of butter lettuce from Costco, I think is where we got it from. And so I took one of the heads of lettuce. It was about 5 ounces, chopped it all up, and I just made a bed of lettuce in my bowl. And then I added my loaded mashed potatoes to that. And so you can't really see the lettuce too much anymore after I added the mashed potatoes, but you can kind of see it sticking out a little bit. But I added my loaded mashed potatoes to that. And then I had about 8 ounces of green beans. And I ended up mixing everything up and adding a drizzle of ketchup on top. I absolutely love this Heinz no salt ketchup. It's delicious. It gives it a little bit of tang and just a little something extra. And so I often use this on my meals as well. I know that might not be for everyone, but I definitely enjoy it. And I use it a lot. So yeah, I mixed everything up and added a drizzle of ketchup. And this whole meal was about 375 calories. And I was very full afterwards. In my potatoes this day, this is Saturday's lunch, I had my heaping cup of Bob's Red Mill potatoes, 3 ounces of spinach, so I had some extra spinach in there that day. Again, dehydrated onions, my no salt seasoning, my Mexican seasoning, as well as the fennel seeds, and then I added some more of the corn on the cob on top. And I had over my bed of lettuce and my drizzle of ketchup. And it was a fantastic and filling meal, so delicious. And like I said, I was so full afterward. And then Sunday's lunch. Now, I didn't weigh my green beans this day. Like I said, I typically don't weigh my green beans every time I have them. I just eyeball them. And so I had a bed of green beans in a bowl this day, and I just chopped up the green beans with my kitchen shears. And these are the kind that I typically get. I just get the organic whole green beans from Costco. You can buy a big bag, and I think these are like $8, maybe $7.99, $7.98 a bag. Very affordable. And so I just will warm a bunch of these up in the microwave, or sometimes I'll just warm them up in a pan on the stove. And then that's what I did for today's lunch. I warmed up my green beans with the water today, and then with some spinach and my serrano peppers. And then I added my potatoes in, after the water started boiling. And then they're more cooked down, and then, they're almost like a little creamy. So they're really delicious that way as well. And so as you can see, I like to mix things up a little bit. But this day on Sunday, yesterday, I just decided to take the green beans, put them in the microwave, microwaved them, and chopped them up with the kitchen shears, put them in a bowl, and I added my loaded mashed potatoes into the bowl on top of them, and I just enjoyed them that way. And in my loaded mashed potatoes, those are about 275 calories, and they were served, like I said, over a bed of green beans with spinach, dehydrated onions, Mexican spice, the Kirkland spices, and I topped them with corn, and then tomatoes and fennel seeds, and they were absolutely delicious. And again, I was very full afterwards. So as you guys can see, you guys can eat this way, eat very low calorie, and feel full and satiated. And you can do this in a super quick and easy way. These meals do not take a lot of time at all to prepare. These are quick and easy meals. Literally, the green beans go into the microwave, and I just cook them in there. You can cook them on the stove. I do that many times as well if I've got extra time or I just feel like it. And I just want them that way because, they do have a little bit different flavor, a little bit different texture when you cook them on the stove versus preparing them, just, throwing them in the microwave. And so I'll do that as well. And My potatoes are just super, super quick and easy to make on the stove. And yeah, just play with the spices and do whatever works for you and whatever tastes good for you. And you can have quick and easy meals, and they are all great for weight loss, and they are just packed with nutrition. And then if you do want some extra protein, of course there's protein in these foods, and you're getting plenty of protein. I have zero concern about my protein, but if you do want protein, then extra protein, then you can add in some black beans. So typically, like right now in our refrigerator, we made a big pan of pinto beans, and so I can just add pinto beans to them. Oftentimes we have black beans, and so we'll make a pan of black beans, and I will add some black beans to my meals, and that's absolutely delicious. Or chickpeas. Chickpeas are also great, and they taste great too. Or peas, any of those. And so, yeah, that's basically how I'm doing this. And those are a lot of the foods that you can eat to lose lots of weight and to keep it off. And so let me just look really quickly and just make sure that I kind of hit all my points. So basically you have your starch, right? You have your main starch, and then whatever you choose, right? And you can also have plain white rice. I did want to mention that as well. So lots of times I've had plain white rice, and might have that with beans, and then bulk that up with lettuce and other vegetables, other non-starchy vegetables, and it's absolutely delicious. And just add in whatever spices, again, tastes good to you, and you can have a delicious, filling, low-calorie meal as well that way. And you can also make rice sweet. So if you want your rice to be sweet, I absolutely love white rice with cinnamon. It's so delicious, and there's lots of health benefits to cinnamon as well. And I just get this giant thing of cinnamon from Costco, and I will add that to some white rice, and it's just sweet and delicious. I don't need to add anything else, no sweetener or anything like that, and I just love white rice with cinnamon that way. And so you can do that. You can also have oatmeal. So I'm not a huge oatmeal person, but oatmeal, steel cut oats, you can make those sweet or savory. So lots of times people obviously they love their oatmeal sweet, and you can go ahead and do that. And some fresh fruit and some cinnamon and maybe just a touch of sweetener, and you can have that as well. And it's also a great low calorie meal. And you can do corn and veggies with some spices. So if you want to have like a big bowl of corn with some vegetables and spices, you can do that as well. Maybe add in some beans, and that would be a fabulous low calorie meal. So basically you want to have your main starch and then load up on those non-starchy vegetables and spices. So that's the key, so that you can keep the salt at bay, right? So you want to keep this as low sodium as you can, because there's already sodium in so many of these foods. Like I use tons of spinach. I'm eating tons of spinach. I eat spinach every day pretty much. And so there's already plenty of sodium in spinach and in some of the other foods that I'm consuming. So I try to keep my salt content, my salt intake very low. So the spices allow me to do that. So I'm able to get lots of delicious flavor going on in my meal because of the spices that I'm adding. And what else? So other foods that I've used are bell peppers. Bell peppers are great for roasting. They are delicious. And if we're making, like, let's say, a Mexican soup, right? That's a pasta Mexican soup. We love our Mexican pasta soups in my family. And those are typically made with onions and bell pepper. So I will take the onions and the bell pepper, and I will enjoy those. And it's a new flavor, right? It's different flavor than I'm having every single day. I'll add those to my potatoes, or I'll have them with rice or whatever. And so that's another idea. So carrots is also great. You can roast carrots in the oven. I had some roasted carrots with my meal last week. When I'm making something in the oven for my kids, like hash browns or whatever I'm making, I try to also put in some roasted vegetables. Like I said, I'll even throw in a whole tray. So I try to really utilize my oven and just roast as many vegetables as I can for my meals, or even for their meals, or to use later on in the week or whatever when I am using the oven. So you can do that. And great foods for breakfast are fruits, of course. So I already told you guys about most of the fruits that we're eating. Cucumbers, I forgot about cucumbers. We eat tons and tons of cucumbers. That's also typically one of the fruits that we have. I consider it a fruit, right? Botanically, it's a fruit on the counter. So we, several days a week, probably like 4 or 5 days a week, we will have cucumbers out on the counter with just lemon. I just put some lemon or some lime over the top, and they're delicious. And so my kids can snack on those in the morning, for lunch, throughout the day, whatever. We're also growing a bunch of cucumbers in our garden that are absolutely delicious, and so we've been enjoying those too. But if we don't have them from our garden, I get them from the grocery store. So I love the English cucumbers from the grocery store, and we try to have those on hand almost all the time, except for right now because we are getting them from our garden. So those are great as well. And then blueberries, frozen fruit is great. We got, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but we got a Ninja Creamy, and apparently these are all the rage. I was able to get one on sale at Costco, and so now you can take your cans of fruit and you can freeze them ahead of time and you put them in the Creamy the next day. So you do have to think ahead, okay? And they're just absolutely delicious in the Creamy. So we've done this with pineapple, and it was fabulous. And we really liked banana. So we had some bananas that were really ripe on the counter. I took them, put them in one of the Creamy jars, froze them, and we had some delicious banana, super creamy, nice cream the next day. Delicious. So, and that's healthy. And so you can enjoy something like that as well for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or dessert. And so, yeah. And now we're going to move to let me just make sure real quick that I have told you guys about everything I wanted to tell you guys about before I move on to my weight and everything. Last thing, actually, I want to share really quick. Water, you pretty much just drink water to your thirst. All right. And so that's what I do. I just drink some sparkling water besides my coffee, and I just drink it to my thirst. Okay. And now, as far as my weight goes, the last time I spoke with you guys, I was 148.4 pounds, and I stepped on the scale this morning, and I hadn't lost any weight. I was 149.2 pounds, so I've actually gained about 0.8 pounds, and I'm going to say gained 0.8 pounds, right? But this is what happens every single month around the beginning of the month. I'm a woman. And so this is around the time of the month that I gain about 1 to 2 pounds a month, 1 to 2 pounds, during the month. And so this is completely 100% normal. This is not going to change. This is how it goes for me every single month. And so I've gained a little bit of weight, 0.8 pounds. And hopefully next time I talk to you guys, I'll be back down. Typically what happens is that I gain a little bit of weight. And then after I get over this time, then the weight starts coming back off. I reach my lowest point again, and then I go lower towards the middle and end of the month. I really start losing weight for that month. And so I'm assuming that's exactly the same thing that's going to happen this month, because that has been what has been happening with my body. And so, yeah, I don't think that's going to change. So I'm up a little bit, but that's okay, because I know that this is normal. This is how my body works. And I'm looking forward to the middle to end of the month when I actually start seeing some weight loss. So that's where my weight's at right now. As far as my clothing size, I'm currently wearing size 8 and size 6. I was able to go to Kohl's again, which clothes shopping is a lot more fun these days because, back in the day I would go clothes shopping, and every time I left the store, one of the first thoughts that came to mind was, I need to lose weight. But I'm not thinking that anymore like I was before. And it's much more enjoyable now. So I'm typically wearing size 8 or size 6. I was able to go to Kohl's and buy 2 more pairs of size 6 pants that fit. And that was really exciting. So that's where I'm at with my size. And then my goals. So in case you haven't heard, I am currently trying to get down to 120 to 125 pounds. At that point, I am going to evaluate my weight and how I'm looking and how I'm feeling and everything, and go from there and decide, do I want to go for another 5 pounds or not? Or is it time to kind of bump up my calories just a little bit and start eating about 1,300 calories a day and move into maintenance mode of this lifestyle. So that's kind of where those things are at right now. And now I'm going to just see really quickly if anyone has any questions. Hi to everyone who has joined. Thank you for joining. And I think I pretty much answered actually all the questions that were there as I was chatting here. So thank you ladies so much for joining. Please go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I have so much to say about weight loss and eating this way, and I have lots more meals to share with you guys, lots more ideas when it comes to feeding your kids and trying to get them to eat healthy. And I even have tips to share for when you do have treats, because again, I am eating this way 90 to 95% of the time, and I am not eating this way about 5 to 10% of the time, but I do still try during that 5 to 10% of the time to make those treat meals or those treats healthier if I can. And I'm going to share those tips on eating out and things like that in upcoming videos. So Lord willing, I'm going to be back and I'm not going anywhere. I have a lot to say about this topic, and this is kind of where I see my YouTube channel moving forward for the most part. So like I said, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.